Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me, as always, are my good buddies.
Yo, what's up? It's Nate.
Hey, it's Willie. How we doing today?
And this week, we played some spooky free games. But before we get into that, I have one thing to say. Gentlemen, we released a Phasmophobia episode. And apparently, because we're the influencers that we are, our episode came out and they were like, oh shit, we should update our game. So there was a new update that we checked out last night. And I just wanted to touch on that like briefly, since that literally came out at the week we did the episode, just after we did it. So
yeah,
they added a new difficulty.
It's a major patch.
Oh yeah,
they've added a new difficulty. They've added a new haunting area you can go visit. They've added 4 new types of ghost, and they've changed the behavior of a few things. So it's pretty big. Yep. They've done a lot to the game.
They also added the weather patterns as well.
Oh, that's right.
Which can affect your readings and stuff. Now, how did you guys feel about the new level of the camp? I really enjoyed it personally.
Yeah, I thought it was really sick. I liked how it was kind of more open and outside, so it gave you kind of a different feel than literally anywhere else in the game. But also like the fact that it wasn't too big compared to some levels like the Asylum and the high school. So it kind of hit that little sweet spot where it was bigger, but not too big, and pretty fun to explore, especially the first time we went there.
What was interesting to me is when we were looking up the floor plans and stuff, I did not realize how big the Asylum is.
Yeah, it's apparently the largest building in the game, and I guess because we struggled more with the high school, I figured the high school had to be the largest one, because it's just so easy to get turned around, and at least the Asylum's floor plan is a little bit less convoluted. Yeah. But I would have, if you asked me to guess which one the biggest building in the game was, I would have said high school without reservation.
Yeah. The camp is much smaller than those, but it's very interesting, like the outside dynamic. Almost like being able to hear wind and like tree, like woods noises. And your light sources aren't normal lights, they're just like camp lights that are strung up that you can turn on. And then there's a cabin that you can find. And a cool little Easter egg, actually, if you take a walk down the pier, I guess you would call it, dock, and look in the water, there's a cool little Easter egg there for you to find.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that, actually.
Yeah, great.
Like, y'all were like, hey, come look at the Easter egg, and I did, and I was like, yeah, that's good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, for sure. If you know anything about horror movies and campsites, you can probably guess like around what the Easter egg might be, but like definitely worth checking out if you have the game.
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp. Come on.
Or was it Club Dread, where they all go to the camp and they all die?
Whoa, spoilers. People die in the horror movie?
Right? Oh, God. And I think Club Dread was done by the Super Trooper dudes.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
Broken Lizard, I think that's what they're called.
Broken Lizard. Shit, man.
Yeah. We played some of that last night, and I really enjoyed the new update. I like the additions that they made. It was the first... We had one of the first matches ever where all four of us got killed in very quick succession.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, man. Because like we just got there, then boom, Dalton's dead. Boom, Willie's dead. Boom, I'm dead. Boom, Dave's dead. Game over. We lose. It was so fast. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
It was like 1.5 minutes between Dalton falling and the last one.
Yeah, it was fucking wild. And when I died, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking at you three, and you're all kind of walking around like, oh shit, whoa shit, what do we do? Standing literally between all three of you guys was the ghost. I could see his full apparition with his weapon. He's at a machete, and he was just standing there. And y'all were like standing there talking, and he's just right in the middle of you all. And then he went and disappeared. Man. And I was like, oh shit. And then that's not long after that, Willie was joined me in the afterlife. It was fun.
Yeah, I don't think me or Dave knew how to get back to the van. So when I started trying to run away from it, I just kind of ran in a direction, and it wasn't a good one.
Fast, I feel like.
Yeah.
One of the things in the update is they upped the ghost speed during hunts.
Oh, okay.
It shows.
yeah, for sure. I wish they would have given our characters some cardio exercise, but
nope, still 6-pack a day smokers.
So the free games that we played this week, gentlemen, all the little horror stuff. Where would you like to start?
I kind of thought that a good place to start would be the first ones that came out chronologically really early. Okay. Like when I was listing all the games I wanted to do, I wanted to put those two at the top because I had like a sidebar after those two. And also, I think it'll be fun to have one that we did kind of enjoy and one that held up very badly.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So, go ahead, Dalton.
I was just gonna say, well, if you've got a list pulled up and you're looking at it, then by all means, sir, go for it, and we'll chat about them.
Yeah, I've just got my notes open. I've got the games in the list I've played them in, so it might not be the exact list of the download links. I'll put download links in the show notes too, so you'd be able to just pop that in if you want to give the download links. Because a couple of these games have titles that are very similar to games that were made, like inspired by or remade from them. So I just thought, it might be helpful to get the links. So the first one I wanted to cover is 2012 Slender: The 8 Pages. And this game, it was direct... when we were talking about spooky YouTube channels, I think one of the first ones I brought up was Marble Hornets. And this one was directly inspired by that. It's a game where you're in the woods trying to collect 8 MacGuffins, pages all over the ground. Or not the ground, but on the walls and different areas of this little park, and the Slender Man is chasing you, basically. Well, he doesn't chase you so much as it's weird. But, I don't know. How'd you guys feel about that game?
I thought it was pretty cute. I didn't play it for very long. I felt like I got the first page, and then I got found by the Slender Man, and he murdered me. And I was like, I felt like I saw what I needed to see. It did not grab me and make me want to go through and try to find multiple pages. I was like, yeah, I kind of see where this is going. I am curious to what happens if you do get all 8 pages, but I wasn't that curious.
Yeah.
I had a Blair Witch experience with this game.
Nah.
I loaded it up, and I started walking, and I kept walking, and I kept walking.
Oh, no.
And I kept walking, and I found a fence, so I took a left. And I kept walking, and I kept walking, and I kept walking. And then I turned the game off because there was nothing. I found nothing. I found no pages. I didn't ever see Slender Man. I was just walking in a dark set of woods, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the first things I want to bring up is I feel like this game was made pretty much using Unity store assets that were available for free at that point in time. And this was 2012. So it was a lot of really primitive stuff. I don't know, maybe some of those were made by the devs or whatever. Obviously someone had to make the Slender Man model, but it's a guy in a suit without a face. It's not that complicated. Yep. But I think also that the way the game mechanics works is as you pick up more pages, Slender Man becomes more aggressive. I don't think he actually starts coming after you until you find one.
Oh, no. Which would explain why Dalton never saw him.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of landmarks in the area, and each one has a chance of spawning one of the pages. Like there's a bathroom, there's a truck, there's like a bunch of tankers.
I found one. I found it was nailed to a tree.
There's a big weird tree in the middle of everything. That seems like the place usually it gets up at too.
I feel like, hold on, real quick, was there more than one game where we were walking around in dark woods this week?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, I played another one where I was walking through the woods and I would like see things in my peripheral vision. But, okay, continue.
No, I mean, walking around in the woods is kind of a major theme in these games. We definitely hit at least one other game that did that this week, so we'll get there. But, I mean, I kind of liked, the thing about the Slender is, like, it's from 2012. It's a very early free Unity game. Like, I think people were just realizing you could make stuff like this in Unity, and it was fairly simple to do. And, like, the first couple times the Slender Man shows up, I'm like, oh! And then after a couple times, I'm like, there he is again.
Hey, buddy.
Like, I feel like it uses up its lifetime supply of jump scares on you really fast. And then the sound is like, I think that the constant, like, once you've picked up the first page, there's like a drumming that's constantly going, and that gets kind of annoying really fast. And I don't know. I thought that it was cool, though. There's a page, if you open up the game, there's like, the main menu has a button that says Slender Mythos, and if you click on that, it like has links to like 6 of the main Slender Man YouTube channels at the time, which, I don't know, that's a cool little library of where they came from.
Yeah.
That's what happens
I
when
thought
you
that was cool.
get all the 8 pages.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't
Fair
have
enough.
the patience for this either, man. Honestly, I got three, and I was like, I've seen enough. The way the Slender Man works in this game is that if you look directly at him, that's kind of what causes you damage or whatever, and if he gets closer to you, he does that harder. And if you look away, it's less static, but eventually I was just like tired of leaving. I just turned to face him like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, that makes sense. You're just like, eventually you're just like, listen, just take me. Just take me.
Yeah. I think that was a theme in a couple of these. I kind of ran out of patience with them because they didn't keep doing enough to justify me continuing to play them.
Yeah, I had that experience with a few of them as well.
Okay, and then after that one, another one that came out from the same time, this one was also inspired by a piece of internet horror, was a game called SCP-087. And this one, there were a bunch of people that made variants on it, but I think the one we found was the first fan-made recreation of the SCP article in video game form.
Now,
real quick, I think I'd like... Yeah.
I played 3 different versions of this game.
Oh, awesome. Maybe you could tell me if B turned out to be better, because B seemed to be the most popular one. I think there was one called Recontainment that I also found a lot when I was looking up, when I was trying to find the original one. But, Nate, what did you think? Because I know that you had the most experience with this one.
Yes, I don't know which version it was, or it was the one you sent us to download and play, so that's the one I got. I thought it was really neat until it wasn't. Like, so first start off, you're just walking down this, you just get locked in this room that there's just a stairway you can go down, you can't go back out the door. So you just end up heading down this staircase. And as you head down the staircase, the atmosphere changes, the music changes, the drumming, so you hear like breathing and just different ambient tones. But you keep going down the stairs and down the stairs and down the stairs. So the first time I played it, I'm at floor 40, and I'm like, okay, I really get the point at this point. Like, the 2 cool things that I kind of saw was, like, one time, like, it felt like a shadow walked through me, and I don't know if this was just your eyes playing with you after doing a repetitive task for so long, or if it actually was in the game. And then another time, I felt like the stairs elongated while I was walking down them, which was really cool. But like I said, I don't know if the game actually did that, or if I just was filling in gaps to make it more interesting as I played it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things the game does is, like, your mind starts filling in the gaps and making it spooky. So I thought it was cool that it was minimalistic enough to let you do that.
Yep. So anyway, I continued on. I was like on floor 40. I was like, okay, I get the point. It's just an endless staircase. You're just going to keep walking down and nothing's going to happen. But it's just an endless staircase. Okay, that's cool. So I was like, I'm on floor 40. I was like, I'm at least going to make this funny. I'm going to get down to floor 69, take a screenshot and send it to Willie and then close the game. Well, I did that. And then Willie told me, that actually has a real climax. Like, just, you need to keep going. I'm like, are you serious? Because it is not a short process to go down 69 flights of stairs. And so I'm like, okay, I'll go back in and do it again. Like, genuinely, it probably takes like 30 minutes to go like 60 flights of stairs or something along the lines. Maybe less than that, but it still sucks. So I went back in, to try to get to this climax. I went in. I was playing for such a long time. Like, nothing new was happening. I got to the stair, like the floor 237. And then my game crashed.
Oh my god.
I was so mad at this game at that point. I was like, I've wasted over an hour of my life on this when I could have been playing some of these other games we had in the catalog to play for this week. And it just crashed. I didn't even get to see the ending, the climax, any of that. So I told Willie about this. He was like, oh my god, dude, that's the worst. And he sent me a YouTube of the ending. And it just made me madder. Because all it was is, like, you walk down the stairs and there's this PNG of the shitty looking dumb monster down there. And that's it. And I'm like, why? Why?
I think my favorite thing about the monster in that version was it wasn't even very accurate, because in the actual article it's supposed to just be a floating face. Mm-hmm. But when you look at that video, you could clearly see it had a stupid little really dark body that it was sitting on. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's supposed to be just a floating, formless face.
I'm so mad.
So I take that back. I played 2 versions of this. I was thinking of the third staircase, but that was in that a game that we'll get to later on, the Paranormal Entities. So the first one I loaded up was, I guess, not the right one because it looked like PS1 graphics, and I ran at the speed of Doom Guy.
That would have been better.
That sounds like a massive improvement.
So I went down probably like, I don't know, 40, 50 flights of stairs, and it got to the point where, like, stuff started happening. So I would run down the stairs, run sideways, back down the stairs, turn around, go and back down the stairs. So I did the whole, like, 30 flights of stairs backwards, right? And I still saw stuff happening coming by me, but I just didn't want to see it going down. And at the end, I kept running to the bottom, and all of a sudden it was just like, and I saw the picture of that thing, and, like, as you're going down, it would, like, fade in the picture of that formless white face, and then it would fade out, and then, like, blood started appearing on the walls, and then pretty soon everything was soaked in blood, and you're running around, and then that face just slowly appearing. And slowly appearing as you're going down. And finally, that's all you see. And then that was the end of the game. And I was like...
That seems like a better way to handle it.
So I loaded up the other one, which I think is the one that you sent me. At least this game looked like it was made in Unity.
Yeah.
So it looked a lot better. I went down 4...
I would rather have the PS1 style graphics.
I went down 4 flights of stairs. And I was like, this guy is walking slower than my normal walking speed.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
So you chose not to finish this one either. I feel better about that.
Yeah, no, I gave up on it. I enjoyed the PS1 type thing, like the running quickly one, although I thought it was kind of pointless. I really enjoy that story, but I feel like that's a hard concept to capture in a video game. It's just a never-ending staircase, you know?
Yeah.
The
original article it's based on, I still think holds up pretty well. It's just a lot of the ambience also comes from that, doubt and confusion that's coming as the guy's talking. There's 4 explorations in the article, I think, and all of them involve, like, radio communication back with Foundation headquarters, which is also not something we get in any of these remakes.
Well, the one that I played, there was no back and forth, but it was like telling you the story as you went down.
That would have been better.
Okay, that's something.
That would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
It was kind of...
Because it's just a lot of emptiness in the original.
No, this one was like explaining what the SCP was when it was kind of founded, and it kind of explained to you that, like, D-Class have gone in here, and the deepest they've ever gone is like 200 and something floors, but then that they lose contact with them eventually, and things like that. So I thought that was cool. But like I said, the movement was way too slow in the other one, especially after being Doom Guy and going down the stairs at the pace I was. But not a bad.
Also,
entry.
I hated it. It was
I don't know if
terrible entry.
I didn't know if this did this to you guys, but this game also didn't grab my cursor when I started the game, so I was constantly having to push my cursor back into the game menu.
A couple of the games did that to me that we played.
Yeah, a lot of the Unity games run in full screen windowed, like borderless window. So you move your mouse too far, and it's like, whoop, on your other screen. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that one was the only game where I accidentally kept bringing, because you're also always moving downward. So I found myself at the Windows menu bar a lot of the time, so all of a sudden it would just hover word. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. And at one point I hit the escape button to try to pause the game. That's quit in this game. And when that happened, I was donezo. I looked up the video. It's the one I sent Nate later. And So here's a sidebar on these. These two games from 2012 were the first time I was familiar with Unity as a game development platform either. I didn't know what all it was capable of. This was the only things I thought it could do. I thought it was just made for cheap asset flip horror games. So that's what I thought Unity was for. And for reference, I made a list of games that Unity has been used to make, so y'all would get that this is not all Unity can do. The following games were made in Unity: Cuphead, Kerbal Space Program, Temple Run 1 and 2, the mobile version of Dragon Quest VIII, Hearthstone, Ori and the Blind Forest, Dream Daddy, Superhot, the Switch version of classic Doom, and NGU Idol. None of these games have anything in common. They don't have to look like slowly walking while something spooks you in cheap 3D. And man, it took me forever to get that image of Unity out of my head so I would actually start working in it myself.
I'm actually playing an RPG in my free time called Guidonia. I think I've talked about it before. That's made in Unity as well. And that's like an open world sandbox RPG with a minimalist Breath of the Wild style. It's like that cartoony look, but it's also not polished. It's a cool. I'll take some screenshots and post them. But
cool.
Yeah. That was less meant to be an exhaustive list and just more here's a bunch of very different kinds of games, because if you'd only seen Slender and SCP-087, you would probably not want to try to make a project in Unity anytime soon. That's why I was working with Monogame for a while.
I would have never guessed that the engine that made that Slender game could make an open world RPG or Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude. So what do we have next?
I've got more on my notes if y'all wanted to do one I think we were probably more positive on is Start Survey.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really liked Start Survey.
That was a really cool little experience.
This was probably the most bite-sized one we had. It was about 5 minutes long. I said it was 7 minutes in our notes before we played it, but it's just because I saw that the YouTube LP of it was 7 minutes, and it's because they read really slow. But I don't really want to spoil it exactly, but you're just in a quiet room in a black and white game, and there's a computer in front of you, and you're in a bedroom, and the computer is asking you a bunch of survey questions, and they get a little bit more confusing and menacing as it goes along.
We'll say it's a nice little existential crisis of a video game.
Yeah.
Not for sure.
And if you don't want spoilers for it because it's real short, skip ahead 20 seconds.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I will leave you a grace period, which is going to be gone from Truncate Silence, but it's okay. When that survey popped up and said my name, was it Dalton with a question mark? I wasn't freaked out. I was really impressed that they were able to do that. But it was also whoa.
Well, I was impressed when it pulled a picture of me and my wife in the folder.
Oh, it adds...
The folder didn't work on my computer because I didn't have any folders in my photos folder.
Oh, it adds photos to your folder?
Yep.
Oh, shit, no.
The little manila folder that's in front of you will have an actual photo from your photos if you use photos in Windows. I just don't, so it didn't have anything. It was blank.
Oh, man, I never even looked. I opened that folder and there was something in there, but I didn't look at it close enough to see if it was an actual picture. What would have been hilarious is that if I just opened it up and it was just a picture of my friend Courtney naked or something, that'd have been
that would
sweet.
It was very pixelated. It was designed that way, I feel like. But it was really neat, and I was just whoa, that's kind of weird. Didn't tell you could do that. But it was a picture of me and my wife in a camera playing Garfield Kart.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'll actually send that to you here in a minute. But yeah, just funny stuff, man.
It was a really cool little experience for sure.
Yeah.
When it was you're doing everything I tell you to do. How do you know your life's not that kind of existential crisis type? Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I would recommend playing that. There's no reason for us to tell you how it ends, so go play it. It's really short.
Yeah. I literally made that note in the notes. This game is 7 minutes. I know that on the download page there's a video. Just play it yourself. You'll wish you had.
Yeah, seriously, you got a couple days. It'll be Halloween. Play it before Halloween. You'll like it. Go for
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm looking at your list. I don't know. I did not play this next game. So might I inject a little story, and then I will let you guys talk about this one. So, listening to Tadpog, shout out to Tadpog, Tyler and Dave play old games this past week, Dave told a story about he doesn't like being in hospitals because they just creep him out, dead people, that kind of thing, right? I have the exact same feeling about hospitals. And my grandfather was in the hospital one time, and we went there to go visit him. He was getting out, so me and my dad were going to get the car to pull it around front to pick him up and all of that, right? So, as we're walking, I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to get the fuck out of here. My dad's like, what's up? And I'm like,
I don't like hospitals, man. They creep me out. And he's like, oh, I get that. I was like, because there are people in here who are dead and they have not found them yet. Or they're dead and there's just dead bodies here. That just freaks me out. I finished saying that. We go around a corner, start heading towards the exit door. We're just in this corridor. The elevator goes ding and comes swinging open. And this dude just comes out pushing a gurney with a body on it with a sheet pulled completely over it. And he's just whistling. And he looks at us. He's like, hey, fellas, how you doing today? We're like, good.
Oh.
And he's like, all right. So he just keeps walking. And we go around the other corner. And me and my dad both stopped and looked at each other and just did that like shiver. Like, and I was like, see, I fucking told you. There's dead people. Freaked me right the fuck out. And I have not been in a hospital since then. So anyways, on to the next game. That was just my quick little ditty.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't like them whatsoever either. I'm actually kind of terrified for pretty similar reasons. Not even the dead body thing. It's more along the lines of, like, I don't want to say it because it's depressing, but it's just like, it's not going to work out great for everyone that's in here. And that alone, I don't know. Yeah. It gets in my head.
It's definitely a place of extreme negative. If you believe in, like, to be able to feel energy, it's definitely a place of negative energy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So this next one you've got is I'm Scared.exe.
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember what if I was going off my notes order or the download order. So I think that one. Yeah, that one's next one with them. I'm Scared.exe. So this game is also called I'm Scared: A Pixelated Nightmare. There's two versions available. There's the original Game Jolt version made in Game Maker from 2012, and there was a commercial release on Steam in 2016 that I think they used the same tools. I think they just expanded it. We played the free version, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I wasn't spending money on this episode. Sorry, everybody.
On.
Yeah. No, that's also the other cool thing about this episode is it's all free stuff. So, I mean, we aren't going to be nice to all of it, but it's all worth, experiencing for yourself if you want to. Although I could say maybe just YouTube the ending of SCP-087 or find a different version of it that you can run fast. But so, I don't know, Nate, you want to start on I'm Scared? Because that's a hard one for me to exactly explain.
Yeah, it's a hard one to explain exactly what it is, for sure. It's like it's a very pixelated 2D style, not 2D, I'm sorry, 3D kind of adventure. Like, picture like Wolfenstein, but everything is extremely more pixelated.
Yeah, it's very flat-colored, flat look. Wolfenstein's a really good example. It's very basic, mostly rectilinear shapes, and like everything is flat colors. It's not like very shaded. It's all very minimal.
Yeah, so what this game does initially is it drops you off in this room, and you try to go out the door of your room, and it's locked, so you can't go out there. And then you start looking around the room, and everything in it's locked, except for you found a key underneath the dresser of the room, and then you can open the cupboard, whatever it is. And I don't know what the point of opening that was. There's some red in there. Do you know what that was supposed to represent?
I think that just once you open that, it tells you I need a heart to escape, and then you can actually go behind you.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, then you do find these stairs behind you, and you go down to this kind of dungeon type area. And there you start exploring that and try to figure out where to go next between all the locked doors and weird stuff going on.
And while you're doing all this, occasionally the game will start creating files in the folder you put it in, and that ends up being an important part of the actual gameplay experience. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of things that actually mess with your computer. It reminds me of stuff where you guys have talked about Doki Doki Literature Club a little bit. How that actually messes with the files in your folder on your computer.
Yeah, in order to beat that, spoilers for Doki Doki, in order to beat it, you have to go in and delete character files in the folder itself. It's wild. I'm curious, what files did it add? Because I didn't get around to this one, or maybe I should just play it after we're done, but I'm curious.
It's all image files and TXT files. It's nothing ridiculous.
Oh, okay, kind of like some backstory to the game type stuff that they just kind of hide in there for you to find, or...
Yeah, but a lot of it's not just it's kind of in character in the game world too.
Oh, it's okay. The game will shut itself off and take you back to your folder, and then you can see there's a new file in that folder that you can open.
Oh, no, that's cool. Okay, that's real cool. I'll have to check that out.
The game will just shut itself off and be like, bye. And then you open the game back up and it takes you back to where you kind of I don't really know that I want to go into spoilery territory on this one either.
No,
but it's just like very much 2D, like shooter kind of feel, except for you don't shoot anything, you don't have a gun, you're just a person. Like very Wolfenstein, but extremely more... What's the word I'm looking for? Like,
it's like fake retro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's very minimal, chunky pixels, but like at a resolution that no computer has ever had. Like there are keys in the game, and they are like practically an oval of brass-colored pixels. You know what I mean?
Are we talking like DOS style, like old?
It's
it wants to
pretending
be
to be
DOS
that.
style. It's
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not like strictly pretending to be any specific engine from those eras, but it plays up that kind of feeling.
And there's really only one other character besides your play character in the game that you meet, and it's kind of like this ghost face that you end up dealing with a few times. And that's kind of where I'll leave it as far as that goes.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to point out is if you're an idiot like me and you get stuck in the parking garage puzzle, follow the little arrows, not just the big arrows.
Okay.
I didn't realize that's why you were struggling. Okay.
I thought you'd follow the big arrow because that's the way the most of it's pointing.
Okay.
Now, which one of these next ones would you like to talk about? I don't know what your download order was as opposed to your notes order.
Let's see.
I think House in the Woods is next.
Yeah, it looks like House in the Woods is next. I think this was the last one I found. And this one's different from the others because the other ones we've mentioned so far are ones I remember having played in the past. And like I'm Scared, for instance, I brought into this. That was the first game I thought of when I thought this would be a fun idea for an episode. It was a game that was short, free, interesting, appropriate for the season and all that. This game I just found when I was trying to remember what the hell Start Survey was called. And so I was looking through like itch.io and a couple other sites trying to find recent-ish horror games. Because I remember Start Survey came out like 1 or 2 years ago. Because I remember playing it last year. And we ended up finding this game called House in the Woods that I looked at it and I'm like, guys, this is a PlayStation 1 graphic style game that's inspired by the Blair Witch Project. We kind of have to play this, don't we? Because that sounds extremely my shit.
Yeah. So did you get to play this one, Dalton?
Yeah, I'll give you my experiences on it, but I'd like to hear y'all's first.
Okay.
Can I take a guess? Because Dalton, did you find a house in the woods?
No, I did not.
That sucks.
That's what I thought was going to happen here.
I had the same experience as Slender. I just kept walking. Although this one did some cooler stuff that I'd like to touch on. So,
okay, yeah, absolutely.
I will say that this one started off really slow, and it took a while for me to find the house as well. But like, so you're basically start off in the woods, and you can just hear sounds, and you occasionally hear somebody yelling, "Help! Help!" And you try to follow these signs where somebody's asking for help, and you just keep following that until you get to the house eventually. It takes a while. It really does. But then when you get to the house, the payoff is really big, in my opinion. It's like a really cool little, like, it kind of leads you by the hand at that point once you get to the house. And it's kind of just like a big, long, like kind of a cutscene that you have a little bit of control over in it, where you're looking and everything. It's pretty freaky. It really was. Like, I don't know how to describe it without being too spoilerific on it. Willie, got anything?
I was just going to say that's pretty much exactly how I felt. It was confusing until you got to the house. I found the graveyard first, then the house. That's the way I went. And once I was in the house, I felt like it was really, I don't know, like you said, it's really straightforward and linear. Like the game makes it really obvious what you need to do next. You're literally in a small area trying out doors or whatever until something opens up, or there's lights one way and there's not lights where you are, so you probably want to move to the lights. That sort of, like, I think it was really intelligently designed. I liked if you looked out the windows, you'd see figures in the distance. It was a little hard to make out if that was a person, a statue, or what the hell is it? And I thought that was really neat.
And like you said, the Blair Witch vibes, I definitely feel that because it was very much the culty type situation where there's just somebody out in the woods. Like in Blair Witch, you would find all the little things hanging from the trees and stuff, and
little fetishes.
Yeah, and it all felt like a part of a bigger cult type thing, and this takes you to the cult.
Yeah. I feel like this game made like 2 direct references to the first Blair Witch movie, at least.
Oh, yeah. Standing in the corner.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was one of them.
I kind of wish that maybe I'll go back and try to play through this one again just to see the payoff.
Okay, Dalton, do
you want us to spoil it? No,
there's a file that came with the game. If you go back into your folder where you got the game, I looked at this afterwards. It's called Read Me. If you read it and go to the very bottom, it gives you spoilers for how to get to the house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be awesome because I roamed for probably 20 minutes.
That sucks.
Just walking around in the dark. But what I thought was cool was that this game used darkness very interestingly, in my opinion, because it would I'd be walking, and as I'm walking up on these patches of grass, the grass would look like a face for a moment and then turn back to normal. So I was like, okay, so maybe the darkness is fucking with my sanity some. So I'm walking, and in my peripheral vision to the right, there's just some creepy girl with black hair in front of her face standing there staring at me, and I'm like, all right. Or it might have been somebody in a cloak. You know what I mean? I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was somebody there, and I was like, all right, not gonna look at them. If I know anything about horror games, it's you do not look directly at anything that is in your peripheral vision. So I kept walking. I did find a big ass monolith thing that had this symbol carved into it, and I was like, I don't know why I'm holding my hand like I'm holding a flashlight, but I was like, oh. That thing's creepy, and then I kept walking.
That's cool that you definitely saw stuff that we didn't see. At least I didn't see.
This was a game, though. I went to pause it, and if I remember correctly, I hit escape and it closed it.
That's when you quit.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go roam the woods again. But now that I know that if there's a little guide to how to get to the house, I would love to see this ending you guys are talking about. Because cult stuff, I'm all about.
I think you'll like it. I do. I will say,
I'm not going to say it'll blow your whole mind, but it was. I felt like it was definitely worth it.
I will say, we were talking about how it's the PS1 graphic style, kind of, but I also really liked how it was kind of grainy too. At the same time, it kind of like the video camera VHS feel as well, which is also very Blair Witchy. But this game, it's crazy to me that this game was made in 48 hours. I think was the contest that this was made for. I might be wrong on that.
Yes. No, it's a 48-hour contest, and they cleaned it up over a second weekend. This was the.
This is what the Blair Witch game should have been.
Yeah. Instead of trying to shoe in mental health stuff, just strictly rely on you're in the fucking woods in the dark with something going on, and you don't know what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your brain's gonna start seeing things without you having to have a mental illness that makes you hallucinate things. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think between the black and white and the VHS crispy filter and the PlayStation 1 crispy filter all going on, everything was so slightly ambiguous until you got really close to it. And I think that really helped make even little trees in the distance seem menacing. Because like you say, you start to see faces, you start to see it's like human nature. And then when you actually do run into something that's clearly unnatural, it's like, oh boy, what does this entail?
Yeah. I really enjoy that. Your brain having to fill in what you can't see or comprehend type thing, you know. And we'll definitely be talking about comprehension of things here in a minute when we get to a certain Cthulhian tale. But I think after this one, House in the Woods, I guess that would be Dagon, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I personally enjoyed this one the most, but I'm a sucker for a good story. And I thought that this told a good story. This is not a game.
Okay, I pretty much have that in my notes too, followed by a disclaimer saying, I know people say that to be shitty and they call them walking simulator. This one is only barely technically interactive.
Yeah, it's not even a walking simulator. This is like an interactive story. Oddly enough, this is made by the people who did Ultimate Fishing Simulator.
Shoutouts to Bit Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was interesting to me was I'm looking at the water and how good the water looked in Dagon, and I'm like, I wonder if they chose a water god type thing to do a story about because they know how to do water because of Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1 and 2. And now this, and after playing this and seeing that they can nail the eerie vibe, that Tales of Herring Lake is looking real good, dude.
Yeah. I'll say this though, it's funny that you bring that up. I definitely took a screenshot of one of the times where I was in the little boat on Dagon and sent it to Willie. I was like, their game's broken. It won't even let me cast my reel.
One of the things I liked about this game is that they had a lot of trivia facts that you could find throughout.
So the main gameplay loop, gameplay I'm using really really loosely, but it's basically almost like an audio book with a pre-rendered, well, not pre-rendered, but a 3D rendered scene in front of you, and you can move your head while the narrator's talking, and then you click on stuff to move forward. You don't even walk; you literally turn and click, and you're looking for the thing that has the fast forward symbol on it when you point at it, because that moves the story forward. But there's also a weird little branch symbol that gives you trivia, and it pops up a little fact about the story, because the story's text is apparently, I looked it up just to be sure, and it seemed like it was a completely unabridged text of the H.P. Lovecraft story Dagon. Like, I couldn't piece out anything that they changed when I really quickly scanned through it after playing it.
Yeah, the branch, hold on, I have a thing about the branch, I just gotta find it.
Yeah.
I took a screenshot of it. Basically, like, the beginning of this game, they kind of set up that this guy has seen some shit, and they don't really explain. Like, obviously, it's cosmic horror, so there's really no explanation for it. But he's become addicted to morphine, trying to subdue these things that he sees in his head. And oh, here we go, the elder sign. So that symbol that you're clicking for the trivia, right? I thought that this was one of the last trivia things that you could find in the game. And this is one of the hidden ones. Because there are hidden trivia things throughout the game. There are 20 total to find. And I think you'll find like 6 or 7, maybe 8, without doing the zoom in. Because there's like a way to zoom in and look around. And then you'll see the hidden branches. Now, the elder sign is a protective symbol that can be found in various works of pop culture, usually represented by a 5-pointed star with the eye flame symbol in its center. All right. For example, games inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's writings, it's supposed to ward away all kinds of cosmic horrors. However, that's a later version of the sign. The original elder sign created by H.P. Lovecraft was a 6-pointed branch. So that's why that is the symbol that they used to represent the trivia and stuff. I thought that was a cool little Easter egg, because I did not know that before I played this.
Yeah, I didn't find whatever trivia fact lets you know about that. I found all but 2 of them.
Y'all found more than I did, because but that's fine. Because like, I liked that they had the trivia in it. I thought that was really neat. I'll go ahead and say this. I don't like H.P. Lovecraft. I think he was a terrible person, and I don't think he was a very good writer. But I will also say is the stuff that people have done with inspired by his original designs far exceeds anything he ever did, and I think this is included in that tradition, because this took his story and actually gave it a personality, gave it life that he couldn't himself. And even though they use the same words, I got more emotion out of this than I ever did reading it.
Yeah. One of the top Steam comments was from the voice actor who did the narration, and he was like, I am blown away with what they did with my voice things that I sent into them, because it's really good. Like, the narration is really, really good.
Narrator was great, and I think that the visuals were really good. Like I said,
the other sound design.
That great sound design. They just took everything that H.P. Lovecraft gave him and ran with it in a way that he couldn't, and which is what I think everybody that's ever done anything with Lovecraft has done.
And as someone who reads kind of fast too, like, I will blow through a 2,200 word story, which is how long Dagon is, in about 6 minutes. It's not going to have the full impact that it will slowly walking over that mire and all that happens over the course of, the buildup. Because, I mean, Lovecraft really only has one story structure in the first place, and it's spending a really long time to get to what is eventually the cool thing that happens.
Yeah.
And this does a better job of making that time feel less like wasted time and more like actually building some suspense and dread.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, I thought...
I also want to say, I think this was the most professional feeling game we played all week by a wide margin.
Oh, yeah, but I also think it was the newest.
It was, but you could tell that they were really proud of what they put together, too, because I remember when they released this, because it was while we were playing Ultimate Fishing Simulator so much, and I remember saying, hey, look at this, guys. They put out this game called Dagon that they made. It's free. So I'm glad that we ended up including that, because, like, I loved Ultimate Fishing Simulator. There's no secret there, and I also think they did such a good job with this. I'm really interested, like you said, to see what Herring Lake ends up being like.
Yeah, for sure. I think having, like, so I pulled up an audio thing of Dagon to hear somebody else read the actual story and after I had played this, and I think I prefer it in the game, like you said, because you have that visual representation of these atrocities and horrors that this guy's kind of experiencing, where it's like he's out in the boat and then all of a sudden he's on the bottom of the seafloor, but like he's not in the water, like it's just come to the surface, and there's like all these things lost to time that are just stuck. It was really cool, like the visuals and stuff, and then like I said, the little facts throughout it about how H.P. Lovecraft was actually kind of a dick, and this other person that took over his stuff after he had died kind of changed a bunch of shit, and like all this It was cool. It was a cool, interesting little ride. It took me about an hour. I did play through it twice. The first time I listened to everything, and I got like 11 or 12 of the clues, or I mean the trivia, and then I went back through and skipped all the dialogue that I could and found all the trivia because I wanted that 100% Steam achievement, and I got it. There's 6 achievements. You can get like 5. You can get them all in one playthrough if you try hard enough, and it's just boom, you get that little badge for 100% completion.
I'm good. I got the 5.
Yeah, I got 5 too. I'm of mixed feeling about the trivia because on one hand, I almost kind of worry that it may give it a little bit of a pop-up video thing that takes you out of the game for a moment, like out of the mood. But honestly, a lot of what it tells you, like the early on when you get that thing about how common morphine addiction was when it was widely available, how it used to be called the soldier's addiction, things like that. The part you just mentioned where after Lovecraft's death, August Derleth kind of controversially changed a bunch of his stuff to create an overriding mythos out of it. Biological informations about the author and stuff about World War One, like early attitudes in it. Like, I really think that the story is a century old, and some of that stuff isn't extremely obvious unless you're like a scholar of the year 1915 or whenever it came out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just, I don't know, it added a lot of important context and fun facts, and I thought they did a really good job mixing all that together.
Yeah, I did too. I highly recommend it to anybody, really.
The main game is free, and there are DLC available, I believe. We didn't check out any of the DLC as far as I know, but the main game is just a complete read-through of the story Dagon, and I can't think of a better way to experience it. And I don't mean that in like the goofy way. I literally mean I'm much happier that I played this game instead of just reading through it again, you know?
There's a reason.
It did so much more for me.
There's a reason that the Steam rating is overwhelmingly positive, and you go through the comments and everyone is like, this is the definitive telling of Dagon. Like, good fucking job, guys.
And it's crazy that they released it for free. I mean, but I guess because it is just like a one-time 30-minute experience, maybe it's a proof of concept for something they want to do larger in the future, which, if that's the case, hell yeah, guys.
Yeah. I think that there is a little DLC that you can buy that I think adds a little stuff, but it's also kind of like just helping support the dev.
Yeah.
And it's called the Eldritch Box. So next time I mow some lawns or something, I might pick that up and check it out. And, you know, just because, like, I fucking love these guys. Like, dude, Ultimate Fishing Simulator is awesome. Yeah. I recommend anybody go download the demo for Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2. It's pretty sweet. And I look forward to playing that when it comes out. Yeah, for sure. And then, like we said, the Herring Lake thing. Like, these guys are on a roll. I really do. I enjoy their stuff. For sure.
And it's crazy to think we came out to all this just because Nathan was like, been playing Sega Bash Fishing lately, and I'd like a little bit more of a relaxed experience.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we just stumble on a dev that we're like, these guys rule.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Kind of a big Golem fan now.
All right. The last one that I see on this here list, because we're not going to get to SCP Unity, I'll touch on that really quick. We basically just ran out of time to play some multiplayer with that, and when I went to the site the other day, the game has been ceased development due to health reasons. So we hope whoever was developing is going to get better or whatever. And Nate, the download link that you tried to get was broken. Mm-hmm. So I had to zip it and put it on Google Drive and send it over to you guys. So we might touch on it at some point. The only thing with the Unity version is it's made so that it's compatible with newer operating systems, because getting the original SCP Containment Breach to run is a pain. I'm sure I could if I sat down and did some time with it and things like that, but I had an issue trying to get it to run. But this game was still in like alpha beta state where it's like it's playable, but it wasn't like the final version of the Unity game, so it's like you're kind of gonna get what you get. But the little bit that I played solo was really cool.
And you can blame the Phasmophobia patch drop for why we didn't get to SCP.
Yeah.
We would have gotten to it, but then everybody was really excited about that patch that came out, so we just ended up staying up way too late playing Phasmophobia again.
As has been the case for the past 2 weeks. We just I just look at the clock and I'm like, oh, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. All right, guys, I'm gonna go to bed. Oh man. And then the final game that I actually just played before we hopped on here was Paranormal Entities.
This is a fun little backstory because Dalton also found this one, and mainly the cool draw to us was it is located in St. Augustine, which is a area near and dear to Dalton's heart that has a lot of haunted spots. We talked about some of them during the Patreon.
Yeah, so visit the Patreon and donate $1 and you get access to the fun little BS segment we do before we actually start recording the episode.
Yeah, man, that's patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast. Yeah, look at that. That is a perfect plug. Setup, execution, finish. Everybody came. All right. So I have mixed feelings about this game. I thought it was really good. Don't get me wrong. There was just like a couple design things that bugged me personally, but
I'll point out again before we get too deep into this one, that much like House in the Woods, this one is also a game jam game. So this one was made in a really short time. So the expectations for both, for most things are kind of low, but so is the time it'll cost us. So we just kind of figured, that sounds really great,
I will say this, for being a game jam game, graphics looked real good.
Yeah.
I would say it was a massive step over the 2012 games we played, especially. Yeah. Like, I really enjoyed, because it didn't have to do something really stylistic either. Like, this was just regular, I'm trying to make video game graphics, and it worked really well.
Yeah. So, like, the whole thing with this one is you're hired by what I assume are some ghost hunters, but they just kind of send you in alone because they're douchebags.
Yeah. He tells you at the beginning of the game it's for like the hunting and fishing network's #2 ghost adventure type show, which I thought was a really cute backstory for it.
We know you're here because you need to pay off that college tuition.
Yeah, it's like, we'll give you $500 to do this.
Which $500 isn't worth it.
Nah, not here, man.
After playing through.
Not at this place. No.
That is more than you make playing Phasmophobia.
That's true.
That's a lot more than you make playing Phasmophobia.
That Phasmophobia economy is messed up, man.
Good work. Here's $40.
Half of my friends are dead. I'm going to spend all this on an EMF and go back in.
Oh, man. So this one's kind of like, it's a lot of corridors. Like, you're going down a lot of hallways in the asylum itself. I thought it was cool. Like, as you're going through, the guy on your walkie-talkie or your little earpiece or whatever is talking to you. Now, here's one of my issues is that guy was quiet to me in my speakers when I was listening to him. So I don't know if it was just like my computer speakers because I didn't play it with my headphones.
I played with headphones. I had no issues with that.
No.
Yeah, same.
So
same. I can't imagine playing these games without headphones. I think that probably would have helped you in House in the Woods too, because I think that one was using directional audio so you could find the house.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I was I had to turn my speakers up a little bit so I could like clearly hear that guy. Plus, like, I've done a lot of concerts and played shows and stuff, so like my hearing is not the best anyway. So I turned it up, but then like when the quote unquote jump scare noises would happen, it was so fucking loud.
Oh yeah,
it about gave me a goddamn heart attack. Like, because those are meant to be louder, startling moments, but like my shit was already turned up loud, and I about pissed myself.
Yeah, I think that's a using speakers and not headphones issue, my dude.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, that was just a personal thing for me that I was like, that bugged me. Other than that, like, I really didn't have many complaints about this. You kind of just, I don't want to get into too many spoiler. I mean, unless you guys want to on this one, because there wasn't like a huge thing. And I'd like to tell you guys about the ending that you didn't get.
Yeah, I think we might have to go through with
I don't think this one's fine to spoil, because like I think that, in my opinion, when I was playing through it, this kind of gave me the vibes of what I wish like a single player Phasmophobia would kind of be like. So I was pretty thrilled with it. Basically, the whole way the story goes is you're kind of walking through this asylum, and you have this guy on your earpiece telling you what to do and giving you directions on where to go and telling you the backstory of the asylum while you're in there. So you get to this one spot. He's like, here, let's try to get an EMP. Not EMP. Like
the spirit box, almost like a recording.
EVP,
yeah,
thank
EVP.
you. I keep getting onto you when we're playing Phasmophobia, and I can't think of it. An electronic voice phenomenon.
Well,
so you're trying to get one picked up, so you talk to it. In one spot, it doesn't do anything. You go to the second spot, it doesn't do anything. Third spot, ghost gets mad because this dude starts talking crap about the ghost when you're there.
You guys are a bunch of pricks.
Yeah. That's the word he used. So, and then you get an EVP, the lights off, die out, and that's where the adventure really starts. And then your little buddy tells you to go to another place. And then he starts telling you the story about this guy who was a inmate at the asylum who would cut his victims' eyes out because he was apparently also a serial killer at the asylum.
Or he would bully them into cutting their own eyes out, which I think is even spookier.
Yeah, he bullied them into cutting their own eyes. I wasn't sure which one it was, but that was like the implied that
both happened. Yeah.
Now, it was at this point that I started noticing the pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
Where like I'm like, all right, so this dude was like killing people and like slicing their eyes open and stuff, and then I look on the wall and there's a diagram of how to successfully remove someone's face, and I'm like, oh, all right, that's not fucking creepy at all.
Yeah, and so you continue basically going through following directions, and at one point he's like, yeah, you need to get the hell out of there. This place is too dangerous.
Yeah, I think that was right after, because you try to leave and everything's locked, so he sends you down the staircase. Now, this was the staircase I was thinking of earlier, because I felt like I just kept going downstairs, and then finally when you get to the bottom and you open that door, and then you're in a...
Did you read the, directory as you were going downstairs and looking at the directory?
No,
you needed to read those directories.
Oh.
Each floor was like, the first floor made sense, and then the next floor down was like kind of slightly off, and then the next floor down was just like all medieval torture implements and
the next one was
stuff.
like, we can see you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, yeah.
Yeah, there was really good messaging on there.
Oh well, fuck.
And then the one you could actually go into, I think, was labeled surgery.
That's why I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
And we're skipping over a lot of the little jump scares that happened along the way, because there's still stuff worth seeing for you to go in while you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game is dense with the spooks. It had the same pacing, I feel like, as an actual haunted house attraction. Like, where teenagers jump out and scare you and stuff. Like, it had that kind of pace.
Yeah, so like as you're going through, they start to explain that this guy got thrown into solitary confinement, but then people were still saying that he would haunt them, and they could see him. Anytime their eyes were open, they could see him. And it would drive these people to the point, in order to escape him tormenting and haunting them, that they would slice their own eyes out.
Yeah. And once you get down to that bottom floor, this is one of my favorite moments in it. And you get stuck in the room that apparently is like a doctor's office in there, and you start walking around. And then one time when you look on the table, there's just a pair of eyeballs sitting there.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit! And there's like some blood.
Yeah. And so you continue through with a bunch of these creepy things happening, and eventually you lose. No, you don't. Never mind. I was gonna say you lose contact. You never lose contact with your buddy on the outside. So then you just can.
I was gonna say your flashlight does break.
Flashlight breaks, and that's when it gets real.
Yeah, that's right.
So you continue going down all these hallways, and eventually you get to this one where your guy comes over the intercom. So you need to run, because there's actually an entity following you at this point.
But there's no run.
There is no run button. No, it's just single speed the whole time. Yeah. But I don't think he can really catch you.
Well,
I don't know.
Not at that right. moment.
So then eventually you keep going down, opening all these doors, and you get to the end of this hallway, and there's another door. You can't open it. Then you turn around, and there's just this scalpel in a bowl in front of you. You can't continue going forward that way anymore. You can't go out the back door that you're at your back when you see the scalpel. But you do see this huge entity moving towards you slowly. And at this point, your guy in the back at the van, I'm going to say, calls you and says, you need to cut your eyes out, man. It's the only way. It's the only way you'll make it.
So did you guys cut your eyes out?
I cut my eyes out.
I was worried that if I just went towards the entity, the game would go, game over, the end, and I would have to go play all the way back up to there. So I figured that cutting the eyes out would progress the story.
Okay, so I did not. I just stood there. Now, when you cut your eyes out, the guy, because I watched that ending after I had gotten the one that I did. The guy's like, "Oh my god, you did it! I'm sorry, man. We're not coming in there.
Yeah, we're not coming for you. You're on your own. Like, we got to go. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, dude. He has such a different reaction. If you wait and that demon gets you, because you could stand there and wait, and that thing will come up and keep closer and closer and closer, and all of a sudden, boom, screen goes black, right?
Okay.
And the dude goes, "Holy shit! Did you see that? Oh my god, dude, we are the ratings. This is gonna be the best fucking paranormal show ever. Oh my god. Oh man, what about?" And the other guy's like, "What about him?" And he's like, "What about him? Are you going in? I'm not going in there. Are you going in there? Fuck that, I'm not going in there." And he's like, "No." So they end up just talking about how great this show's gonna be, and then
that's actually such a better ending. I love that.
It cracked me up, dude. The dude was so excited about how much money he was gonna make off of this. Like, it cracked me up. Yeah, when I watched the one about cutting your eyes, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's just like a more somber ending, I guess." Where this one just had me fucking rolling.
That's a great ending. I wish I wouldn't have cut my eyes out now, because that's like an awesome ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was that was the ones that we played for the week. The only other free horror game that I have that I want to bring up is one that I tried to find the Unity remakes for these. They have all been apparently shut down by Konami.
Oh.
PT. Now, either of you have any experience with PT? Did either of you play it?
I didn't actually play it. I didn't have the system when it came out, but I mean, everyone was so hype about it. It was the promise of the perfect video game that we never got.
So yeah, right. So I played this around the same time that I played Outlast, which Outlast freaked me out too, but not quite like PT. So PT was playable teaser, was what it stood for. And if you eventually beat it, which I never did, I could never figure out how to beat it. You got this cutscene at the end where it like did all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you saw what is his name? It's the guy from Walking Dead, Death Stranding guy.
Oh, Norman
Reedus. It pans to him, and then he's in Silent Hill. And this was supposed to be like the precursor to the new Silent Hills game that got canceled, never came out. Well, this demo is fucking terrifying. It's a loop. You start in a room, you walk through the door, and you're in this hallway. You walk to the end of the hallway, you turn, you walk through another hallway, you're in a little foyer. You walk through it to another hallway, open a door, you're back where you started. And you just keep making this loop. And every time, little things change. Like the pictures on the wall, maybe the second time you go through, like some of them will have X's on the faces, or their faces will be scribbled out. You go through one time, you hear a faint baby crying. And you're like, what the fuck? And then, you go through another time, and the bathroom door is slightly ajar. And if you zoom in on the bathroom door, this thing goes rah, and jumps out and grabs the door and slams it, right? And then, like, the whole thing is Lisa. This place is haunted by a ghost named Lisa. There's this big, tall, fucking lurking monstrosity of a ghost. The thing that stands out to me in my memory was me and my two buddies. We had a love seat, so all three of us were crammed onto this, like, 2-seat love seat. And we were playing through this, and we go through the hallway, and in the little foyer, there is a refrigerator being hung by a rope. Now, at this point, all the lights in the hallway have turned red. So, like, you're in this, like, really eerie-looking fucking area now. Like, but you're still in the same hallway you've been doing over and over and over. And this refrigerator hanging there is just dripping blood from it. And so as you're looking up at that in your peripheral, you see something move. So you look over into the upstairs area where you can't get, and that ghost is just standing up there fucking looming down at you. And I was like, oh shit. So I turned around to go walk through the door, and she was standing in the hallway. And me and both of my buddies all jumped at the same time, and we flipped the love seat backwards. All of us flipped over and everything. And yeah, we didn't play much after that because we were like, okay, we got the fucking point. This lady does not want us in this hallway.
Nice.
But for being just a short, like a little teaser, that game did horror so fucking well. People say that it was overhyped and things like that, but it's like, dude, if you would have just gone into it as blindly as some people did, there was no hype. There was no, like, at the beginning when I first downloaded it, people weren't ranting and raving about it. So I got to experience it without that going into it with what other people have said, and dude, scared the shit out of me. And when I found out it was for a Silent Hills game, I was stoked about it, but obviously that did not come to fruition.
Yeah,
man, that free horror games, dude, it's amazing to me that these people create these little stories and then just put them out there for people to enjoy. Like,
so what would y'all put down as your favorite for this week?
For this week? Oh, that's a good question.
Let's give it a top 2.
Dagon, but that's not really, like, if I was going to say, like, the game. My favorite experience.
I think that counts.
Dagon counts. It's one of the games we played for free this week.
I would say probably Dagon and Start Survey.
Yeah, personally. I think I'm actually going to go with probably Start Survey, and then it's really hard for me to pick The House in the Woods over Dagon. I liked both of them a lot, but I think I am actually going to go Dagon.
I guess this wasn't too interesting because I'm also at Start Survey and Dagon.
I will say that I think my third is the Paranormal Entities. I did enjoy that.
Third for me was House in the Woods.
Paranormal Entities was really cool too, just because again it was fast paced. It didn't waste your time, which I really appreciate in horror, especially after SCP. I'm not most SCP, specifically that one SCP-07 or 086 7 game, because the game was pretty disrespectful of your time, and I felt so was Slender to an extent.
Paranormal Entities was not. It was hit after hit. It was really well paced.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No diss on I'm Scared either. It was also really fun. It's hard to directly compare to the others, but I would recommend that one too.
For sure. Well, I think the overall experience that I had this week, I give it a solid 8.5 spoops. I had fun.
It's hard for me to rate it as a overall experience because I also definitely muddle in some Phasmophobia mint leaf in with my julep over there because that game got a lot of playtime for us this weekend. And I'll also say that I did enjoy a lot of the changes, but you guys got to watch my enthusiasm for that game die in real time over the last couple times we played it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not over it completely yet.
Take a break.
I was really unenthusiastic by the end of it. Yeah. I was actively looking for a reason to tag out and let someone else play.
I did think it was fun that we just like reignited Phasmophobia in the game buds. Like, just because we were like, hey, we're playing this. Does anybody want to join? And all of a sudden, like, fucking people bought the game and stuff. It was cool.
As far as a rating goes, I have to take SCP-087 out. Otherwise, it's going to drag the average down so bad because that's my first 1 out of 10 game.
Fair.
So, but overall, the overall experience, I'm going to say it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'll give the whole thing about an 8 as well. I feel like I got everything I came for, and
most of special shout outs to Dagon and Start Survey, which both hit a 10 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Dagon. Nice. I will give Dagon a 10 as well. Like, that was flawlessly done for what they were trying to execute. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dagon is the one that, like, honestly, if you described what it tried to do, it sounds like the least ambitious, but it's the one that did everything it tried to do with aplomb. Like, it completely killed it with the narration, with the graphics, with the sound design, with the pacing, the concept in general, and I mean,
that hand,
just very impressive stuff.
Yeah, man. So Willie, I have a question for you, good buddy.
Yo,
we're supposed to do trails next week. We both probably need to put more time into it. So do you want to do Ubermosh? You guys want to do Ubermosh instead next week?
Oh,
and then
shit!
That'll give us hopefully enough time to finish out the game because I'm nearing halfway through trails. So
I was honestly getting really stressed about trails because I need to basically work 2 shifts a day for the next 5 days in a row practically. So if you want, Ubermosh isn't going to take up very much time and look like a lot of fun.
I think Ubermosh on how long to beat is 20 minutes. And I mean, that's just because it's I think it's one of those games where it repeats loops.
It's an arcade game, yeah.
So, Nate, you're welcome to join us on that if you want. I don't know how.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll see what my schedule looks like. If I'm available, I will be happy to do it.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, man. So we'll do that next week, and then after that, we'll do the trails, and we'll finish that up, and then we'll dive into what's this next, Baldur's Gate. I think.
Oh my god, I no longer remember what the last poll winner was. It's been a while since we've done those.
I think it's Baldur's Gate because I know Baldur's Gate 2 won, but since there's carryover between 1 and 2,
right? That's right.
We're gonna do 1.
That sounds right. Okay, sorry, Baldur's Gate fans, that we've basically put 2 months into making you wait. But I knew Trails was going to be a long one. We both want to absolutely finish this game.
The poll's still open, but Baldur's Gate has an 8-vote lead. So good luck. Anything else?
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's technically not a closed case yet. But
I've thought about just calling that one and putting another one up just to give somebody things to vote on, but I don't want it to throw people off timeline wise. Yeah.
Well, if we're doing Ubermosh next week, then did we take down the Ubermosh vote? We could put up a new one for that now.
I'll do that tonight. And
okay. And
other than that,
I guess we should probably do socials.
Yeah.
Because I've actually been on Twitch this week.
You have. So let's go ahead and run through the little housekeeping here at the end. If you would like to check out the show on the internet, all that jazz, bit.ly/the Steam Machine Podcast. Just capitalize first letter in each one of those, and that will take you to our website, which has links to everything that you could possibly imagine, like the Patreon, which is patreon.com/the Steam Machine Podcast. It'll give you, the website has a link to our Discord, but if you do not feel like going to that, you can do bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters,
caps.
and that will give you an invite to the Discord to come join. And these polls that we're talking about with votes for the games, you can come make your vote heard. So come in, and there's always chat going on and stuff. I've been real happy with people joining. There's been more conversation happening and things lately. It's been nice to see. And if you want a cool ass little shirt, you want a shirt with a Steamy on it or our podcast logo, maybe one of my album covers, whatever you want, you can go to tsmpproductions.threadless.com. You can snag all that stuff there. And it's not only shirts. You can get it on shoes. You can get it on underwear. You want steamy on your balls? You can get some underwear with steamy on your balls. Like, go for it, man. Like, whatever's floating your boat. So, Nate, go ahead and plug your stuff, my good sir, if you have anything.
Yeah, of course I have things. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok, all at Turtle Bear Man. Just good times for everybody. Just a big goober that plays retro video games on Twitch and says stupid things on Twitter and posts stupid things on TikTok. We good here.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
Hey, I like that you've repurposed some of your Twitch clips with some new editing for TikTok. I know that learning video editing has been a bit of a challenge at first, but you seem like you're really getting the hang of it now.
I like it now.
For sure.
Plus, you got to play Monster Party this week.
Yeah, that was a great game. I love that game.
Yeah, I've never played it.
Well,
but
I've been streaming
it a lot. But
it's a weird game. It's a really weird game. Like, it almost feels like an unlicensed game. It's so strange.
But yeah,
I've
plug your stuff.
I've been doing a little bit of streaming on Icebrain Studios, twitch.tv/Icebrain Studios. I've been playing a lot of Doom again recently, which is obvious. That's my main video game to play. But so I've been going through a thing called the WAD. What is it? The WAD improvement, or the WAD Guide for Skill Improvement. I think it's a thread on the Doom World forums where they put together a list of levels in ascending order of difficulty, starting with the basic Doom 1 levels, and then moving through, later releases, fan-made maps and all that, until their goal is to get you up to the hardest levels of the game. So I've been playing, through the early stuff, Ultraviolence, pistol starts only, and having a lot of fun. Been streaming I streamed like twice last week. I'll probably stream about twice this week, and maybe more. Just, I'm not going to have as much time as I'd like, so maybe less.
Yeah.
But come by if you want to. Maybe we're going to get to TNT Evolution after my next stream, and I'm really looking forward to the first few maps of that. Wormhole is maybe the best map in Commercial Doom.
You said TNT Evolution. I just assumed that was a new AEW show.
Sounds like it for sure.
Man.
But that'd be cool, man. I look forward to seeing some more Doom. I look forward to seeing some more retro gaming. Go check those guys out on Twitch. I'm on there every now and then. I'll plug it whenever I feel like starting up again. Whenever I'm on a game, because I don't want to play Trails on stream, because then I feel like I need to play the entire game on stream, and I would just be on stream a lot. But I might stream some Ubermosh.
Oh yeah,
cool.
That sounds fun actually.
So
I'll try to stream some Uberwatch too this week.
Yeah, there's a link to my Twitch on the website if you go check that out. And then my recommendation for the week, it's spoopy time, man. Go watch Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh, that's a good one. Nice pick.
On YouTube. It's one of the original, I don't even know how to describe it. You should just go watch it. It looks like a kid's show. It's not a kid's show. That's all I have to say. It's like
if the
seven
vibe
episodes.
you're looking for is unsettling, you're going to get it.
Yeah, it's like 7 episodes, maybe 8. And it'll take you about an hour to watch them all. Good stuff. You guys got any recommendations, anything spooky for them to check out? Because next time we get together, Halloween's over.
Eat some candy.
Ooh, right. That's damn good. We're a that's the lame. I'm not going to say we're a reflective vest if you go trick-or-treating. First off, our listeners are not trick-or-treating age for the most part, I hope, because we cuss too.
We say a cuss occasionally.
You know what, man? I have been known to say a cuss. Actually, I'm just going to say download that Dagon. If you're only going to get one of the games you heard about in this episode, look into that Dagon game. I honestly think that everyone is likely to enjoy it.
Yeah, I will concur with that. Well, and then in that case, gentlemen, for the Brothers of Destruction, my name is Dalton. This has been the Steam Machine Podcast. As always, guys, keep your fucking fingers off my Butterfinger.
Hey everybody, Dalton here at the end, which means I fucked something up. And it's just that I forgot to mention our absolutely wonderful Patreon members who need their shout out every episode. So I would like to give a special shout out to Nate Sir Cogsworth of the 7th of Juniper, Jeff, the original Expendable, otherwise known as Old Jeffy Lube, Aries or Adam, otherwise known as Aries or Adam, and a shout out to his podcast Revival and Extinction, and DC Smokedown. You guys fucking rock. And to end this episode, I wrote something special just for this. I'm no professional though, so I hope you all enjoy this song that I called. I don't even remember what I called it. I don't think I named it. But we'll call it Secure, Contain, Protect. Enjoy.
Gentlemen, secure this creature, contain him, and protect him at all costs. This is the will of the Foundation.
Hello! Welcome! Coming into my factory! Mr. Wondertainment here with magic for you to see! We hope that all of our products will bring you glee, but we're not responsible for any agony. How about a Mr. Red or a unicorn friend? Maybe a Christmas carol to really brighten up your homestead. You can even read Dr. Wondertainment's kind of history. Maybe you'll turn out to be the next SCP-003. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect. SCP-049.
I can smell the pestilence, it's coming from your aura. Let the cleansing commence, it's terrible affliction you see. One that I must cure you of immediately. Have you no worries, I'm a medical man, and I will heal you whatever catches cash can. I found my cure to be most effective. You may not be human, but from my perspective, the pestilence is gone. Unfortunately it's spread to everyone around you. I'll see to them in your stead. Just take the disturbing thoughts out your head. Or here, actually, I'll just remove it instead.
Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect. SCP-149.
Like a fire in the night sky, the waste of bodies in my lane while I fly by. The government is chasing after me, they do try. They looking low and they should know I'm always sky high. They got the file on me, enslaving women next, because they believe that I'm coming from some outer sect. Otherworldly interplanetary entity. They say that I'm the next PT, but that lump of brothers I wanna be. I'm the real thing, not some Spielberg creation. I've come to tear apart this already crumbling nation. They'll try to stop me, they'll wrangle me, they'll count me, they'll lock me up by the book and they'll shut it over top me. But that shit ain't gonna happen. Never, not again. I'll never be another test subject for them. Fuck that. I'll just stay away, hidden back in this dark, dingy old cave. And if anyone comes looking for me now, they gon' learn what a kid is all about. They think that they can fuck with me now. Well, they gon' learn what a cat is all about.
Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect. Secure, contain, protect.